Hello, beautiful souls, beautiful people. We are live. And first, I want to congratulate you all, to tell you Happy Kids Day. May you keep your inner kid always alive, always present, always safe in your heart. Let's get to our report and our conversation today. So the moon is right now in Libra. If you deal with people today, it's a lot of Libra energy, a lot of conversations. Libra is taking care of our relationships in a diplomatic way, and it's also an air sign, meaning that it's going to make aspects with Venus in Gemini. And maybe the conversation is not going to be so much outside, but maybe it's going to be more internal. Maybe you are going to look at your values. Maybe you are going to look at yourself. Maybe you are going to look at the way you value yourself or not. Nevertheless, these 2 days of this week, they are good for this kind of reflection. I think we are entering more and more into this retrograde period that is inviting us to look back, to reorganize and reflect on everything that we have learned in the past months, so then we can better integrate it and apply it when we move forward again, astrologically speaking. After these 2 days in Libra, the moon is going to follow her path and she's going to enter Scorpio, the deep waters, the deep emotional waters of Scorpio. So the middle of the week, I see it good for going deeper into our feelings, of feeling the intensities of these times. Scorpio usually has to do with a lot of, let's say, more taboo or secret aspects of ourselves, of our society. Unfortunately, today's taboo subjects have to do with sexuality, with death, with intimacy, with the obscure part of our bodies. So allow this time for you to go even deeper into yourselves. I just had a session earlier where we talked a lot about our pelvic area and our genital area, and noticing that we don't usually talk freely, smoothly about these parts of our body. So I can see the Scorpio moon phase during this week, helping us in getting into these hidden aspects of ourselves, of our bodies, of our emotions, of our relationships with other people or with the outer world. And then bring it to surface, right? It's not about going deep and staying there. It's about going deep, finding those treasures in the shadows, and then bring it to the surface, ready right in time for the full moon in Sagittarius that is going to happen on Friday, 5th of June. And the full moon brings into full illumination everything that we are bringing from the depths of Scorpio. And Sagittarius has this beautiful talent of pointing beyond, of looking for the deeper meaning, connecting it to the divine. Sagittarius, it's a sign that likes to learn and has the flesh, right? That goes beyond the horizon and connects us with something bigger beyond our mental understanding. And usually it is from these depths within that we find these treasures that then we can put it in a full light and transform it into talents, transform it into lessons, transform it using this alchemy of the waters of Scorpio and the fire of Sagittarius to transform everything that we need to transform in our life. What's also important to mention is that this full moon in Sagittarius, it is the full moon that it's starting the eclipse season of this summer. So we are going to officially enter eclipse season. For me, the period that contains the eclipses is like an accelerator of processes, of insights, of creating, manifesting, letting go of, no matter what is it that we are working in our life. This period is going to be like a catalyzer, and it's not necessarily always easy because sometimes we are faced with things that we don't like that much or that are harder for us. But only the fact that these things come to the surface, it is a blessing in disguise that is showing us what things are being released, what patterns do we have that we no longer need and we can let it go. What is it that is happening in our life that is not completely aligned with who we are, with our own truth, and doing or allowing things to move in such a way that just goes into the direction of our own growth. So Friday we start this accelerating period. And what's important also to mention here, what's very special, is to understand that eclipses happen on the axis of the moon. So if each planet, we can look at its axis, the moon has also an axis, and we look at the north side of the moon and the south node of the moon. We are calling them nodes. The north node of the moon, it's what we are pointing towards, and the south node of the moon, it's what we want to release, to let go. And these nodes of the moon change from 18 to 18 months, more or less. So 1 year and a half they take to go over a sign and then change signs. And what's happening this year right now is that we are in transitioning from one sign to the other. If for the last 1 year and a half the nodes were on the axis Cancer, Capricorn, so we were pointing towards Cancer, towards our home, towards our inner child, maybe towards the past, towards mother figure. We are releasing from Capricorn, from father figure, from career, business, work life. This is what we worked on. Right now, we are changing, we are transitioning, and the nodes are going to move on the axis of Gemini, Sagittarius. These are two opposing signs. Gemini, air, lots of information, lots of different perspective, lots of new different breezes, airs, ideas. And communication. Gemini, it's also in charge of communication. We are going to start pointing towards that as humanity, and of course also individually, depending what Gemini activates in our own personal chart. And on the south node of the moon, we are going to be in Sagittarius. So what I was talking about Sagittarius, this search of going beyond, this capacity of learning, of integrating information, this belief that there is something bigger, far beyond our intellectual understanding to reach towards, to go towards. And also understanding that here Sagittarius also, with together with the Capricorn that comes after Sagittarius, religions were made, right? Our belief and our search for God and spirituality, Sagittarius, then can be held by Capricorn to put into structures, and forms. So I think that at the spiritual level, we have dismantled a lot in Capricorn about structures, even religious and spiritual structures, and we are being asked right now to release also everything from our beliefs, from our search, from our maybe information that we got in, to release it, to let it go. Maybe it's not serving us anymore. Maybe we are clinging to certain truths, making a rigid reality out of it when it's not necessary to do so. Maybe we actually need to be a little bit more flexible and just trusting in what this fiery Sagittarius connection with the divine is bringing us. So the weekend for me is all going to be about this release, this being able to see what has come to completion, what is in full illumination from our subconscious minds right now when it comes to Sagittarius, with this connection to the divine, to this search beyond our apparent limits, and look at what is there to be released. And after we finish this full moon in Sagittarius, we are going to go in Capricorn, and we are going to be in during this eclipse season, meaning that in 2 weeks from Friday, we are going to have a new moon that is going to be a solar eclipse, a total solar eclipse happening, and then we are going to have another full moon with a penumbral eclipse. So it's very special because we are having 3 eclipses. Usually they come in pairs, but because now we are in this phase of transitioning, we are somehow still in between worlds, so activating still what we activated for 1.5 years and starting to activate what we are going to work on for the next 1.5 years. So it's interesting, very interesting times. And we are also going deeper into retrogrades. Mercury is going to be retrograde. I'm going to talk about that in further reports when we are going to get closer. For this week, I think this is the important part. As we are reaching towards the full moon, you can feel the energy crescendo, right, in an increasing rhythm, reminding that this increasity doesn't need necessarily to feel as external intensity, but it can also feel a lot like internal intensity, the intensity of our own processes, the intensity of our own emotions, and capacity to look at our beliefs and maybe rapidly start to have realization, insights, and also change behaviors. Yeah, I think this is what I have for you with the astrology part, with the moon wisdom for this week. For me, is definitely, I feel it as a big week. It's filled with work, with meetings, with I know some things that are going to get me into some inner processes. And what I am preparing for the end of the week, together with a dear friend of mine from Romania that is a sexological body worker. Her name is Liana. We are preparing an online retreat only for women. It's called Feminine Essences. I can leave the link below. And we are going to work with the sexual energy, with the creative, vital energy, to go towards our essence as a woman. And I think we really thought when we chose the dates, because we wanted to enter this eclipse season with a powerful event, with hosting space for other women to also start like this. And it's a way for me to align ourselves with the proposition that the stars have for us, and make this path of inner reflection or inner observation or personal and spiritual development more mindful, more conscious, bring it to the surface, and really looking at the path that we are walking. And when we as human beings come in a group, these processes are even more powerful, more accelerated, because we have more people supporting us, and we are also giving them our support. So we are also making our service to others. That's helpful all the time in our inner processes. So yeah, I'm excited for that, and that's what I wanted to share it with you. Also, we are going to have full moon eclipse ceremony. We are going to have everything live on Zoom, breathing exercises, meditation exercises, body movement, dancing awareness exercises, sharing Q&A. I think it's going to be a beautiful full moon weekend. So enough with the talking for today. If there are no questions, I think we can settle a little bit into our bodies with the power of our breath. And you can place your feet on the ground, put your body straight, place your hands comfortable, knees, thighs, wherever they are more comfortable for you, palms facing down or palms facing up. And you can close your eyes and immediately tap into the power of the breath. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And allow sound to go out. And with every breath, inhalation and exhalation, relax even more. Let go of any tension accumulated in the body. And remembering that we are grounded in Mother Earth. And pulled by the Father Sky, we open our chest, we open this energetic center of our heart chakra. And we sink into this space with every breath. And from this place of center, of love, of compassion, we are going to ask ourselves a question. We are going to wait for an answer, and we are going to repeat the question, wait for the answer, and stay in this observation of questioning and answering with the awareness that everything can be an answer. A word, an image, a body sensation, or a movement. We don't need to mentally answer the question or look for it. We are going to just allow for the answer to come, observe it, and let it go. So we breathe into our hearts and we ask ourselves, what is alive in me at this moment? 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 And let's take some moments to do this in silence, in our own rhythm. And I'm going to call you back with the sound of my voice when we are going to finish this questioning and answering. What is alive in me at this moment? What is alive in me at this moment? Gently, we bring our hands together in front of our hearts, thanking all the answers that came, thanking this question, and thanking to ourselves, to our heart space, for holding the space for this question and this answer to keep on dancing. And let's take 3 complete cycles of breath together, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. And take any movement that your body needs to take to wake up. Stretch the legs, the neck. Rotate the shoulders. Allow yourselves to come here, to come now. And this question can also be used here, asking the cards, what is alive for us this week, this specific moment in time of the first week of June, starting with the International Kids Day and finishing after a powerful full moon. What is alive for this week? And the answer came, it's coming from the Greek goddess Diana. She is the queen of the wilderness. It's interesting because I talked that Sagittarius has this symbolism of the arch and the flesh, and then Diana comes with this symbolism too. You can see her holding it, and here having her flesh is in the back, and it's not about killing, but it's more about training our capacity to aim, to have an aim, to have a purpose, to have an objective. And her message is, the language of the natural world, it's a frequency of love. This is my mother tongue. She is a goddess that is connected a lot with nature. And I know from the description of these cards that some of the helping question of the end of this card is what spirit animal is trying to communicate with us. So it's interesting because I was already feeling that today I want to use also another deck, which is a Portuguese deck done by a friend of mine, Amala Oliveira, which has a beautiful project called Sagrar for the Portuguese speaking community. They can look into it. And she did an animal oracle with the animals that are in extinction danger here in the Iberic Peninsula, so Portugal and Spain. And as Diana is this goddess that works with the natural world, with this language of animals and nature, I'm going to draw us a card from the animal, asking what is the animal that has a message for us? What is alive in this natural world that wants to communicate with us, delivering a message for this first week of June? And the message is coming from the bees. And the key word on the card is cooperation. So reminding ourselves also how important bees are on this planet. Without them, we won't have food. They help with pollinizing the flowers, helping plants be fertile. And they do that without even knowing it. Or maybe they know it, maybe they have a wisdom that knows that there is an exchange in between the pollen and them, and they are the messengers in between different plants. And of course, it's an animal that teaches us a lot about cooperation. They live together, and as humanity, I think we are in desperate need of learning how to cooperate and to live with each other. And I'm gonna bring also the messages from the Buddha, the Dharma cards, completing the reading for this week. Of asking a message, what is it alive for us this week? And this card appeared before here. It is the 21 card, the guide. And for me, this comes just to confirm the cards that were drawn before, letting Diana be our guide and letting the message of the bee of cooperation, cooperating with each other, to be our guide for this upcoming week. Beautiful. I'm very glad you like the meditation, Jessica. And I think as it's our tradition, you want a personal drawing. Let me know which deck you would like to have your reading from. The divine animals. We are with animals today. Okay. Let's see. What are the animals? This natural world, these beautiful companions that we have, souls that comes into shape of animals, all of them with a very specific purpose and gift for the nature and for us. And this wants to come out. So I'm going to accept this as the drawing for you. I don't know how to say this animal in English. I'm going to show the picture to you. Let me see. In Portuguese, it's tupeira, tupeira da água. In English, I am doing, it's a mole. That's it. In English is the mole that we have as animal for you, Jessica. The message is detachment. So whatever you need to detach yourself from this week, it's a perfect week because we are going towards the full moon, which helps us bring to illumination what we need to let go, to detach ourselves from. Hope it makes sense and it helps you as a message for this week. Next Monday, I'm not going to be here to do the live. I am going to be off grid for a couple of days. You're most welcome. Glad to be of service. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to maybe do a video, a small recording talking about the energies of next week. And I'm going to upload it to be available for Monday at our normal hour, 7 p.m. Just for you to know that you are going to receive something from me, but you're not going to receive me live. And then I'm going to be back on the other week that is going to be leading to the next eclipse. So this is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching live. Jessica, you're always a great support. And thank you so much for watching in your own time. See you in 2 weeks live and next week with a video from me. Have a great week. Many blessings for the upcoming full moon. and take care.